And here we go, everyone. Winners match here for Group M of the FX Open Invitational Series. I am Unstable, joined here by Railcoon as we jump into it. IMSeeD against QuanticIllusion. Best of 3 coming up, starting on Entombed Valley. Let's jump straight into the game and see what's happening. Okay, so we do have here, we have Seed down here at the bottom right as our teal Protoss. Going for our double gas. And up here at the top left, we have QuanticIllusion as our orange Protoss. Orange Protoss? Orange Terran. See, we've been casting way too much this weekend for me to get it right. Okay, so either way, Illusion came through crazy moving quite dominantly. He did try a risky build in game 2 and got punished for it, but still the other 2 games were very dominant. On Seed, on the other hand, was very interesting games for him. It was very passive games with those 1-2 engagements that decided the whole thing, going 1-2 with Whale. So it's very interesting. Yeah. Of course, Crazy Moving will play Whale in the in the losers match, but until we get there, we have this one.
This probe is being annoying as hell. It took Illusion ages to kill that. And that's pretty important because the probe really just wanted to see the timing on the gas, and he stayed alive a long time just to, like, well, you haven't made any gas.
Yeah.
So he's probably got a pretty good idea that he's moving straight into this extra 2 barracks because there was no refinery for so long.
Mm-hmm. It's very true. Alrighty, so we do have a double barracks follow-up with 1 gas from Illusion, whereas we have a 1 gate into Expand coming out from Seed. Very standard builds for both of these guys on this map. I really liked this matchup when it gets to the later stages of the game, if it's on even footing, because it just brings us in a whole dynamic of, is he going to tech switch from Colossus to High Templars? Are you going to have enough Ghosts, or are you going to engage properly? Are you going to engage in one big army, or are you going to split it up? And it's just such a dynamic matchup near the end. I really do enjoy this one. So let's see if these guys can go that way. I'd have no doubt that they can. But Illusion, being the aggressive player that he is, going for that 4 racks already, might have something to say about that.
It's fun to watch when the 2 players are evenly matched because you get a lot of really mini engagements going on in the late game with the Ghosts trying to come forward and get off EMPs while they try to stop it with the feedbacks. And Seed is going Dark Templars.
And
We've
that
got
he is.
Dark Shrine with 2nd, 3rd gateway on the way. There is no robotics, so he's not going to be going for the Warp Prism. He's just going to try and walk these in the old-fashioned way. And we'll see how this works out. Like, Illusion is a relatively aggressive player. There's a decent chance that he could be partway across the map, and then the Dark Templars and the other army kind of bump heads in the center of the map. And then it'll come down to, like, is Illusion watching? Will he notice that? He is actually walling off.
Yeah.
So that's actually going to help out quite a bit in deflecting this.
Well, if he walls off, it means he doesn't have to worry about anything other than a Warp Prism drop, because he can scan and take that out. Even if he doesn't have a scan right away, he will be able to delay it long enough so he can realize what's going on, pull some SCVs, get his defenses prepared. However, he already has his first engineering bay on the way. Let's have a quick look at his vision here. He has no idea that this is coming, but he is moving out in the middle of the map. We do see Seed's going to get blindsided by this, actually.
He's going to have to use these Dark Templars defensively, and oh, he's already warping them in offensively because he hasn't seen it yet. That could be
but
an
the
issue.
supply depots are down. That's another thing.
He doesn't have any warp-ins right now, and oh my god, he's letting the Dark Templars in!
Yeah,
there's no detection at all. Oh, he saw it. He raises the ones at the main base, but still, like, he has warped in an additional Dark Templar back at home.
Well,
to
he's
defend.
also losing a lot of Marines here at the front due to this 1 DT. So while we got 1, 2, 3 different sections going on, a scan goes down, the DT does fall at the natural here, and he won't be able to get up the ramp, but he's going to do as much damage as he possibly can. At the same time, there's 2 DTs running around in the natural here for Illusion. He doesn't have any... He's got a turret going up on the high ground. He's now making an engineering bay on the right of that wall to stop that going through, and he's just running around in circles here with these SCVs. Looking at the resources lost, he's actually lost quite a few. He's going to run them out of the main base, try and get away, but it's not going to be enough. He's going to lose that mule regardless, and he's like, whoa, why are you not moving them? Because why? He's being attacked down here at the natural of the Seed, and he's been cleaned up there. We always expected this army to be cleaned up regardless, but he does have a few Marines here, and now Illusion in a lot of trouble. It was just because the supply depots were lowered and he came out at the worst possible time. And is he going to have enough?
He's going to get an extra supply depot here. Illusion is here with a lot of units, and he does have enough for a scan, but he's trying to scare him away without using the scan. He was finally able to do so, but there is this Dark Templar hiding down here in the bottom of the natural. I'm box selecting it like you can see it, but I'm not the streamer, so I don't know why I'm doing that. But this could come back in a little bit later. This turret is positioned on the high ground in a position where you can see the wall and the mineral lines. That is a nice position by Illusion for this turret. For when this Dark Templar comes back in, it should be in detection range.
Yeah, so we are going to even things out here. Looking at the resources lost, 15 workers killed for IMSeeD. Illusion's down to 29 SCVs to 45. He's going to be behind for a little bit, for a while, unless he tries to take some kind of risk. And we do see IMSeeD going for the double upgrades while this. You can get away with it. He wants to take that time to get that advantage later on. But looking here, we already have +1 for Illusion. So he's mainly just going to be catching up in those upgrades. Illusion now going for that factory. And try and get those medivacs out as soon as possible. But that 1 DT is going to be a problem here for Illusion later on. And it looks like IMSeeD is ready to go for a third base, but wisely, as I pointed out on the camera before, there was a supply depot being made there.
Yeah, I'm surprised he didn't let that finish. A lot of times you get that to about 98, 99%. 99%, and then you just pull the SCV off of it.
Well, it was happening while he was attacking and the DTs came through.
Oh,
it was all
okay.
at the same time, kinda. And it looks like we are going to have a robotics bay go down here for IMSeeD in the back of his base. So he's going to catch up in the upgrades, he's going to have that extra tech, and it's going to be difficult because Illusion... This is like deja vu here, because didn't this happen to someone really recently where they were they were behind and they had the choice of Medivacs or Vikings because the Colossal were coming out so quickly?
Yeah.
Which game was that?
It was one of the games on Saturday. I couldn't tell you which one. We did a lot of games for Saturday. And I don't know, like, he's gonna, most of the time the Terran player is gonna choose going for those medivacs, and then sometimes what they'll do is they'll get the armory out and just start cranking out the Viking upgrades. It was one of the later games we did. I just don't remember which Terran it was. I'm sorry, I'm a bad caster. And I can't remember every single game that I cast, especially when we do so many of them in a weekend. But these units down here in the third base for IMSeeD are getting completely caught. And IMSeeD, did he lose a unit in that little engagement?
No, I don't believe he did. The resources lost count is starting to heavily favor IMSeeD. And now that he's going to have his third base a lot quicker... Oh, actually, no, it's probably about the same time. But there is a DT just sitting here for IMSeeD. He's also still got this DT hiding in that main base, which I kind of like. He hasn't really used it at all.
He's probably waiting, going to keep that there for a long time. Wait until it starts getting the later stages of the game, especially when they're multitasking, fighting on 2-3 fronts, because we saw that Illusion was having trouble keeping up with all of the multiple front fighting that was going on earlier in the game. So if that starts happening later on, he can just walk that Dark Templar into a mineral line, and most likely Illusion's not going to be able to deal with that for a while without losing units on another front.
Yeah, that's very true. Alrighty, so we do have a double, 1.5 drops being picked up. It's going to fill up. There we go. And we're going to see some aggression coming forward. That DT just
also
moved slightly.
He's gonna scout the medivacs. Hey, scouting DT sees the drop leaving the base of Illusion.
Yeah, should barely see it. DT just coming up into that tower, sees the third base, is up and running now for Illusion. It's going to get up and running roughly the same time that IMSeeD does. But with these double upgrades coming through, IMSeeD will pull ahead with these upgrades.
He's moving his army away. He didn't see the medivacs. They went right over the Dark Templar, but he didn't see it. Oh my god, so we're going to have an interesting situation. This drop's going to come right into the third base. He's catching some random Marines out in the center of the map that we're trying to deal with any proxy pylons. But, oh, Dark Templar is moving in the mineral line now unstable, right as the drop is coming into the third base.
Yeah, it looks like he's going to have a nice trade situation for both these guys right now. Lots of Zealots being warped in here for IMSeeD. At the same time, he's moving up to try and take on this third base. There is one Colossus here. It does have extended thermal lance, remember, so as soon as he gets through these depots, he will be okay. But he is going to lose this third base. But look at this DT. He has 24 kills, and it's still going up. As we do see IMSeeD pushing up into the third base at the same time. Now he's crushing through this army. If only those extra 2 medivacs would head down here. And now the reinforcements for IMSeeD are actually coming in. And, well, that DT is actually going to go after the army now as well. He's going to die for it. There's just no SCVs left at the third base. So now these guys are going to trade expansions. The drop coming into the main now.
Yeah, going into the main, that was not the best idea. There were units here waiting for that. And that's going to wind up, if you look at the workers killed, I think that's in favor of IMSeeD. We've got 36 workers to 64. They're both going to be able to get their expansions running here again. See, Illusion's command center didn't die, but he lost so many units he's not feeling safe to land it again, so he's actually flying it back up into his main base, which is going to make this closer to even. Once again, he tries to drop in the natural with these medevacs, but there's the Colossus just walking around, skipping the cliffs and driving him away. But the worker count, once both their expansions come back up, is going to be vastly in favor of Seed. So as we move into later stages of the game, he's in a really good spot. He's also getting Storm and Charge. He can take some of these Dark Templars and make them into Archons. His army's just really scary right now, and it's only going to get scarier.
Yeah, Illusion definitely fighting an uphill battle from here on in, especially with all these extra upgrades coming out from Seed. But now even on the upgrades for their infantry and gateway forces, like Seed did have that, like he was catching up, then overtook Illusion, and now they're back on even terms. So it's a very interesting back and forth there. We do have a few units that were coming into this third base yet again. He's going to lose all of these though, and now he's going to be a good 40 supply down, which is not a situation you want to be in.
The army supply is pretty much the same. If you look at it, 74 to 78, it's just, that's the worker count that we're looking at this point in the game. Level 3 weapons and armor both on the way for Seed now. And if you look at Illusion, he's got the level 3 weapons, but he can't really get the armor going. He's actually done a pretty good job of keeping up with the upgrades when it looked like he was going to fall behind. I think Seed just hasn't been chrono boosting those very often. He's just been letting them go normally. So he hasn't gotten behind when you'd normally expect him to.
Yeah, that's very true. He's trying to remake this wall off at the third base up here, but it's just not going to work out too well for him. He's still down 40 supply. There's 3 Colossi here. There's only 4 Vikings on the field, and he's going to be down on the upgrades as well as Storm. I think we might be seeing the end of Illusion in this first game here, unfortunately.
This is really Zealot heavy too, if you look at this. There's not many Stalkers. He's got a few Sentries, and the 2 Templar are trailing in behind. So if he did have more Vikings out, he could deal with this. But there's only 4 Vikings, and it's going to take him a while to chew through 3 Colossus. So they're still going to get their damage off. And then these Charged Zealots, which are going to be very shortly 3/3 Charged Zealots.
Well, there is a drop in the natural that was cleaned up quite effectively by Seed, and it looks like he's going to be pushing forward just now. He does have 2 Stalkers and 2 Sentries, like you were saying, so we can't really deal with the Vikings, but he has just so many Zealots that he's going to tear all the way through these supply depots. A lot of these units are banked up. He will be able to trade effectively versus these Zealots, but the Colossi coming in now, one of them is going to fall to these Vikings, but he needs to dodge the Storms, and Illusion doing a great job of trying to dodge the Storms here, coming down onto the left, but there we go, one does finally hit it. 2 of those Colossi are down, and the Vikings, look at this, Seed is zoning out Illusion with those Storms in a really effective way as he starts to clean up everything at this third base, but he's out of Storms now by the looks of it, and Illusion coming in, he's going to try and trade as best he can, but with those Medivacs healing them up, sorry, not Medivacs, the Force Field's keeping him out, he's going to lose this command center anyway.
Yeah, this Colossus is still not dead. He's done a great job of protecting it with the zoning from the Storms, making sure none of the bio can shoot it. It will finally go down, but the damage has been done. Illusion calls the mule on himself, and then follows it up with the GG.
There we go, GG comes out, so congratulations to Seed. He will take game number 1, but I have to give it to Illusion. I thought he was going to get rolled over much more heavily than he did. He was dodging the Storms, he was keeping his army right, he just got zoned too well. And if he'd been able to keep that third base alive, it would have been able to keep going, but unfortunately not the case. We'll be right back with game number 2 after this quick commercial break. Stay with us.